Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Alert TV channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today we will review and explain in detail a critical incident in the ongoing conflict, the report that Ukraine's air defense shot down 90 of 101 incoming drones, but 5 managed to break through. This is not a product review in the usual sense, but rather a careful breakdown of exterior, interior, performance, safety features, unique selling points and overall conclusion of how this defensive event unfolds, treating the scenario as if we were evaluating a complex system in action. Let's begin with the exterior. Imagine the skies above Ukraine. Dark early morning or late evening, perhaps low light, where dozens of unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, approach. On the exterior front you have the incoming swarm of drones, in this case referenced as 101 drones launched toward Ukrainian territory. According to reports, Ukraine managed to intercept approximately 90 of them. These drones may have been launched from occupied or hostile regions, attempting to strike critical infrastructure, civilian sites, or defense nodes. From the vantage of the defenders, the exterior view includes the launch sites, the trajectory of each drone, the overlapping flight paths, the airspace coverage of the defenders, and the visible engagement zone. The exterior also includes the air defense systems deployed, radar units tracking objects, anti-aircraft missile batteries, electronic warfare (EW) systems jamming or spoofing hostile drones, mobile fire groups maneuvering to intercept. The outer layer is the sky and battlefield environment, weather conditions, visibility, terrain, altitude, drone signatures against radar and thermal sensors. On this dimension, the system showed strong capability. 90 out of 101 drones were shot down, which indicates a high exterior interception rate, approximately 89%. That means the defensive outer shell worked well, despite pressure. But what about the 5 that broke through? Their ability to penetrate suggests either gaps in coverage, overwhelmed sensors, saturation of defenses, or clever adversary evasion tactics. So externally, we see a highly contested airspace with multiple threats and a resilient but stressed defensive perimeter. Next, let's move to the interior meaning the internal systems, processes, decision-making, human and technological elements that make the defense effort possible. This is where most of the heavy detail lies. Inside the air defense system you have command and control centers, operators receiving alerts from radar and early warning sensors. They assess the threat vector, classify incoming objects as hostile drones, assign intercept assets. You have electronic warfare teams working to disrupt GPS or communications of the drones. You have surface-to-air missile systems or anti-drone artillery or point defense guns engaging the target. You have mobile groups repositioning to optimal intercept angles. You have logistics, ensuring the interceptors are fueled and ready, maintenance of radar and missile systems. You have human operators under stress, making split-second decisions. You have communication between units, ground-based air defense units, possibly fighter jets, maybe anti-drone UAVs themselves. You have data fusion software aggregating radar tracks, UAV video feeds, infrared signatures, threat libraries to recognize the drone types. For the interior of this defensive event, the data suggests an effective integration. Intercepting 90 out of 101 means the system sensors, decision loops, and shooters all aligned. However, the interior also reveals stress points. The 5 drones that penetrated presumably found a gap. That could mean one of several issues in the interior process, perhaps. The decision chain was delayed, maybe a radar blind spot occurred, maybe the drones operated at low altitude or used terrain masking making detection harder, perhaps false positives or tracking overload slowed response, maybe some interceptors depleted or some mobile units out of position. Also inside you might have resource constraints, ammunition stocks, missile system readiness, maintenance schedules, fatigue among personnel. The interior shows both strength and vulnerability. The orchestration of multiple subsystems working together succeeded impressively, but the penetration by 5 drones warns that even well-functioning internal systems can be circumvented by saturation, novel tactics, or sheer numbers. It also suggests that for the defenders, continuous improvement of their internal processes is required, more sensors, better automation, more resilient command links, enhanced EW, and training to prevent future penetrations. Turning now to performance. How did the system perform? In raw numbers, intercepting 90 of 101 drones is a very high success rate, almost 89%. That is performance approaching optimal for such engagements. The remaining 5 drones that broke through, while a small proportion, still represent a significant risk because even a single strike can cause damage to infrastructure, casualties, or morale. Performance thus must be judged in context. High intercept rate is commendable, but the fact that any got through underscores risk. Performance can also be assessed by reaction time, how quickly threats were detected and engaged, coverage, how many sectors were secured, sustainability, can they maintain this level of performance over multiple waves, and resilience, how the system handles saturation attacks. The system appears to have demonstrated strong single-wave capability. If the same level of performance is maintained under repeated attacks, that's very robust. If not, performance may degrade. Also, performance should consider collateral factors. Were there any false interceptions? Did interceptors miss some threats? Did any friendly assets get in the way? We don't have full granular data, but the headline numbers suggest effective performance, albeit with room for improvement. Safety features deserve attention. In a defense scenario, safety isn't just about the system safeguarding itself but also about protecting civilians, infrastructure, friendly forces, and minimizing unintended consequences. Safety features in this context include early warning alerts to civilians, air raid sirens, shelters, structural defense of key facilities, reinforced buildings, backup power systems, redundancy in the defense network, multiple sensors, overlapping coverage so if one fails another picks up, fail-safe circuits, so if command link is lost, units operate autonomously, strict rules of engagement to avoid friendly fire, secure communication channels to prevent enemy interception or spoofing. From the reported event, the high interception rate suggests good safety for many, but the breach by 5 drones means a gap in those safety features. If civilians or infrastructure were hit, that implies safety features did not cover all vectors. To improve, defenders should expand sensor coverage to low altitude, stealth or small drones, improve civilian alert systems in penetration scenarios, increase redundancy so that a failed sensor doesn't open a gap, and continuously drill personnel so that even when under stress, they respond effectively. Unique selling points. If we treat this defensive approach as a product or system, what makes it stand out? First, the ability to intercept a very high proportion of incoming drones, 90 out of 101. That demonstrates maturity of the air defense system, integration of sensors, shooters and command. Second, flexibility, the ability to respond to drone swarms, which are harder to intercept than single larger missiles due to numbers, lower cost per threat, sometimes lower signature, unpredictable behavior. Third, adaptability, as the adversary evolves, the defenders appear to keep pace, employing mobile fire groups, interceptors. Fourth, cost effectiveness, drones are relatively cheap, and the defensive system proving it can handle them reduces the adversary's cost-benefit advantage. Fifth, deterrence value, the fact that such a system is known to reliably defeat most drones may deter some attacks or force the adversary to change tactics, meaning the system has psychological, strategic value beyond the immediate. These unique aspects make the defensive architecture valuable, not perfect, but strong. Price. In this context, price can be interpreted metaphorically and practically. Practically, the cost to develop and maintain such a defense system is substantial. Radars, missiles, electronic warfare suites, mobile units, logistics, personnel training, 24/7 operations, maintenance. The price, in human terms, may also include the risk of any penetrations. Each of the 5 drones that broke through may impose repair cost, casualty risk, morale cost. If civilian infrastructure or homes were damaged, there is economic cost to repair. Also, the adversary may escalate and force higher future costs, more interceptors, more sensors. On the metaphorical side, the price of not having this defense would be far higher: infrastructure loss, civilian casualties, strategic disadvantage. So the budget required is justified by the protection gained, but ongoing funding must be maintained. The price is high in absolute terms but lower than the potential damage prevented. If you asked for a numeric costing, such systems in Ukraine require millions of dollars per year in procurement and operations, yet each successful interception of a drone payload worth $10,000 or so may save tens or hundreds of thousands in damage. So the cost-benefit ratio appears favorable. Conclusion. In sum, this event, 101 drones launched, 90 intercepted, 5 penetrating, offers a vivid case study of modern drone warfare and defense. On the positive side, the defenders demonstrated high competency. Their exterior shell held up, the interior processes functioned properly, performance was strong, safety features largely effective, unique selling points clear, and the cost justified by the protection afforded. On the cautionary side, The 5 drones that got through highlight that no defense is perfect, that adversaries will probe for weak points, and that continuous adaptation is required. This means maintaining and expanding sensor coverage, especially to low altitude, small, slow or stealth drones, increasing intercept capacity to handle saturation attacks, ensuring civilian alert and protection systems cover the full spectrum of threats, and integrating lessons learned from each wave. For your viewers, the takeaway is that drone swarms represent a serious threat, but well-designed, well-operated defense systems can significantly mitigate that threat. Yet constant vigilance is essential. Saturation attacks, new drone types, unpredictable tactics can still penetrate. Ultimately, the event shows that effective defense is not just about hardware, it's about integration, training, resilience, and sustained investment. Thank you for watching this detailed breakdown. If you found this review helpful, please subscribe and like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.